Hello and welcome to Some Kind of Podcast. This is a podcast where we entertain you by discussing what entertains us. I'm this week's Coast. Coast?
Oh, now roll with it. You're the coast.
I'm the Coast. I'm the Coast of this week's podcast. My name's Cody, and I'm joined by my co-host, as always, Tim.
Marushka Hargitay.
And Christian.
Hi.
Let's just coast on through this, guys.
You're the coastest with the mostest.
Yep, you know it. All right, so
you're really doing a good job of coasting through this opening.
Yep, I'm just coasting along, guys. At some point, Christian will host again when he's feeling better.
Yeah, it's down the line.
You're on less drugs now, right? Though, right?
Yep. Less and less drugs, so that's an improvement.
Less and less drugs, more and more pain.
Yep. That's where I want to be right now.
But you are getting a new brace or something like that soon, right?
Yeah, it's coming up here in about a week. I'll have to go back in for a follow-up appointment, and I get a brace that's supposed to allow me to move a little bit more than now, which is nothing. So, yeah.
I was going to say, I'm sure that if they're taking staples out and stuff, then you're going to get a brace that'll have some kind of bending to it.
Yeah. Yep.
It'll probably feel better to move your knee.
God, I hope so, because not being able to sleep.
I've never, quote unquote, broken, hurt anything. Knock on wood. Does it just feel weird to just not be able to move it?
Yeah. So it's like, okay, so like right now, like I have my leg, raised up, and if I try to move my leg, I literally just can't. I can move my foot. But like if I wanted to get up, I would have to like wrap the end of my leg in something and then physically pull it with my arms, because the tendons or whatever that are like in like mid leg around the knee required to actually lift your entire leg just aren't physically repaired enough to actually allow that movement. So yeah, it's very weird.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, mine wasn't.
I feel like I would just my whole body like I want to move my leg.
Yeah, mine wasn't as bad as Christian's, but it's definitely weird.
No, yeah, I couldn't just imagine. I don't know. I guess it's like when you like sleep on your arm and you wake up and you can't move your arm, even though you want to move your arm, except you can feel it. I guess it's what it's like.
Yeah, it just hurts more.
Yeah, that hurts.
I don't know if you ever felt the blood rush back to your arm.
I mean, it's not great, but I can assure you that like severe knee pain is just awful.
Oh, I can imagine. You two and my mom, I've seen all go through the knee stuff before. It does not look like something I ever want to take part of. And I hope I never do, knock on wood.
I don't wish it on anybody.
In somewhat relation to that, though, like I was on the plus side, I was in so much pain the other night that it caused me to stay up all night long. And as a added result of that, I was able to finally platinum Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Oh, that's right. I remember you telling me that the other day.
I couldn't sleep, but I was able to profit from it, I guess, in a way.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Hey, whatever you gotta do, man. If you ain't got nothing else to like do, be proud of the fact you platinum that game. That and you've been trying to platinum it for like since it came out.
Yeah. So like I have the season pass and everything for it, and I had full intention of just keeping it on the system and actually playing through the rest of the content. And as soon as that platinum hit, I was like, you know what? I don't want to play this game anymore.
Yeah, that's sort of how I felt. Do you remember what your final time was?
It was 113 hours, I think, total.
I don't know what I did for 40 extra hours, because I think you and Steven both are somewhere around like 100, and I was sitting at 156.
You were like, ooh, shiny.
I guess. I really don't know what
either
took
that
me so
or you
long.
had it on and you like passed out once.
Oh, that's also probably
got like
plausible.
7 hours just because it was on, but you were asleep.
Oh, man.
I've done that before.
This is very true.
I've actually stopped a game like because I fall asleep playing, and I didn't. I don't really care about like time played, but like I kind of do. And I actually like restarted at a save point where I had saved where it was like less time because I fell asleep. I don't know why. I don't care about playtime, but like I kind of care about playtime.
Yeah, no, I I don't really ever pay attention to it until after I finish a game, and then I go back and look at the logged hours. And I'm like, oh god, I spent that much time playing that game.
Yeah.
Like for instance,
Final
I have
Fantasy.
all that playtime on Final Fantasy 14, but I guarantee you that about 20% of those I was either A, asleep, or B, just chatting with people and not actually playing the game, but just chatting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I will say there are several hours, if not the equivalent of days, where I was just literally just AFK talking to people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I mean, I was part of the. I guess I technically still am part of Celestia, but like
Are you? Have you logged in?
so I made a point to like resubscribe for like 1 month every like 4 months just to make sure that like I'm still there.
Celestia was Cody's free company, by the way. Where
Not
he did a
mine.
bunch
I was just a part of it for a long time, and I guess I still am. But
I started a free company. Did I tell you that?
I think you did.
Yeah, I started it was Alligator and Raven. It didn't do anything.
Well, it's hard to get a following. I mean, we're still figuring this out.
You don't say. It's challenging.
It's a little difficult, little difficult.
Well, I mean, I gave up on that, A, because I wasn't really playing 14 like I used to. And B, I wasn't gonna be a good free company leader because I wasn't gonna be invested because I wasn't playing like I used to.
Right.
If it had been 2013, 2014, yeah, maybe, but nah, not for me. So I disbanded it. And I'm pretty sure I'm not in a free company right now.
I mean, they'll let you back into Celestia.
They'll let me back in if you ask them to let me even back in Celestia, but they're not just going to let me
I
back
haven't
in.
been active or talked to any of them in months, if not a year.
Anywho, I would like to interject
Didn't go off on that tangent.
add some
Back
not
to Assassin's
necessarily-
Creed. What were you saying, Christian?
Oh no, I'm done with Assassin's Creed. I never want
Okay.
to think about that game until maybe this fall when the next game launches.
Until I go back on what I said and finish playing it.
Yeah. Not necessarily a segment, but I just want to talk about a bit of news that I heard over this past, I think it was within the past week. And that's that, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart finally got a release date. So I'm extremely excited about that.
Yeah, June, right?
Yep. June 10th.
10th sounds right. I know I've got it pre-ordered.
Sounds right. June 11th.
I do
Okay.
not have it pre-ordered yet, but I will pick it up because it looks like it's a lot of fun. Speaking of, go ahead. Actually, finish your thought.
Okay. No, well, mine's kind of a tangent. So if you wanted to just
No,
interject,
mine's
go ahead.
too. Go.
Okay, cool. All right, so I went down like a Reddit rabbit hole because when the game got announced, when the game got announced for the games and when its release date and everything, at the very end of the PlayStation blog post, it says, "And yes, we know you are asking about the new Lombax's name, and it's not fair that we put her in the art and aren't telling you yet. Hang in there, you'll be feeling rosy soon." And so then everyone's been freaking out saying that like, oh, Rosie's the name. And then everyone else is like, oh, I think it's not, they wouldn't just tell you. It's going to be a hint at what the name actually is. And so then I did more of the whole, Reddit rabbit hole thing. And then I came across this theory and I agree 100%. This is totally what the new female Lombax's name is. And so in my head, I was like, the new Lombax is totally going to be named something else like tool related. When you have a main character that's called Ratchet, you can't be just.
Oh, is that what Ratchet is?
What?
I don't know. Is a Lombax what Ratchet is? I don't know what that word was.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. All right.
Okay.
Backstory then. Yeah. So the main
I've
character.
never played, man. I'm sorry.
You're good. You're good. The main character is a Lombax and Ratchet, and it's kind of like a lost race. There's not really many of them around.
Okay.
Throughout the series, you've come across, I want to say like 2. One of them's kind of related to you, and I'm not even sure if that's canon anymore. But anyway, there's not many of them around. So like the fact that like there's even one in this game is cool. But I think it's also going to be playable because when you look at the promotional advertising on that new post, if you pre-order the game, it gives you a skin for Ratchet, and it also gives you a skin for the female Lombax that's going to be
Okay.
introduced. And I don't know why they'd give her a skin if you couldn't play as her. So that's exciting.
I feel like it's going to be a split story between the two of them.
I could see that, because I think in like that promotional video or whatever, like Clank, which is, you're just, essentially the R2D2, I guess, of this universe. Like he's just like your tech buddy that, kind of offers
Friendo.
comical. Yep. Your tech friendo. And he gets launched, through a rift into this other universe. And then that's how he meets this other Lombax. And he's like, Ratchet? And then she's just like, who? So yeah, no, I could totally see it being like, she you play as her with Clank trying to find their way back to Ratchet. And no, I could.
Yeah.
So what's
I think it's going to be Clank ends up with the female Lombat, and her version of Clank ends up with Ratchet, and it'll be like a weird story to reunite them.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so okay, so the completion of the theory thing that I was talking about before. So they said Rosie, and so there was, like on those promotional advertisements for World War II, there's Rosie the Riveter, and rivet, like as in a rivet of a bolt. And so I think her name is gonna be Rivet.
I could see it.
I would buy into that.
Yeah.
Anyway, tangent over. Okay, Tim.
I started Persona 5 Strikers.
Hey.
And it's really fun. And I totally forgot what my segue was going to be when you went back to you. So, hey, I started playing Persona 5 Strikers, and it's really good, and I'm really enjoying it, and I'm probably going to platinum it. And yeah, I'm really drawing a blank here, guys. We should probably move on, and hopefully I'll remember it at some point.
All right.
Okay, so give me. I mean, you and Steven were the reason, that I got into the Persona series with Persona 5 Royal. I almost jumped into Persona 5, and you both kind of talked me into just waiting and playing Royal, since that was like, the completed version of the game.
It's smart, but like I don't know how canonical Royal is, at least like the last 20 to 30 hours of it.
Yeah.
I mean, because that's the only thing difference between Royal and Persona 5 is the last like 20 to 30 hours.
So how does the gameplay from Persona 5 Royal then compare to Persona 5 Strikers?
It's completely different.
Okay.
Instead of turn-based, which Persona 5 and Persona 5 Royal are, I'm just going to call it Persona 5, just so I don't have to say Persona 5 and Persona 5 Royal. Just know I'm talking about both.
Okay.
It's vastly different. Instead of turn-based things where you select a move and then you do the move, and then it's somebody else's turn to do a move, or it's your enemy's turn. It's just open and free, kind of like Kingdom Hearts, but it's definitely set up in the style of like a Dynasty Warriors or Hyrule Warriors. Whew, that's a hard word to say.
I was gonna say it's that kind of game.
Yeah, but there's a lot of cool things you can do and unlock. Like you can, for instance, that's one area you're fighting about. You can like, instead of like in Persona 5, you can hide behind coverage, which obviously if you're in a fight, there's no really reason to do that. But instead of like using circle to hide behind something, you can move to like things that are environmental things that are around you. So for instance, in this one area where I was fighting a bunch of stuff, there was apparently like a pile of skateboards. And as I was running around fighting things, like the little icon came up to say to move. So I clicked it, and then I moved a skateboard, and then I was able to just like zoom around on it and attack things with it for a little bit. And then I did like a big move at the end. It was pretty cool. There's also things like, in Persona 5 Royal, they introduced show times between you and another person. Well, the show times are still there, but it's just by you. And it can essentially either deal high massive amounts of damage to a boss, or it can essentially just obliterate everything in front of you to kind of end the thing. But there's still experience. There's still like everything that's in Persona 5 is there. It's just now built around this whole structure of like a Hyrule Warriors, Dynasty Warriors kind of thing. The story is really good. That's why I don't know if it's a canonical to Persona 5 Royal or Persona 5. I'm going to say Persona 5 because like it's a continuation of the story almost. Like it takes place 6 months after the events of Persona 5.
Yeah, I don't.
So it's pretty cool.
I know a lot of those games. So like Hyrule Warriors isn't canonical
Mm-hmm.
to the Breath of the Wild storyline, even
Does
though
it take place before it?
so it takes place as like a prequel. But Steven was saying that like the events that unfold completely change what would have happened in Breath of the Wild. So it's not canon. It's just its own little thing.
Yeah, but like this, I mean, I don't know. I'm only 8 hours into it, and it feels like it's not going to be as hefty as like a Persona game, but it feels like there's going to be some length to it for sure. Um, I'm only like 8 hours in, and I don't know, how it's going to end up, but like it truly feels like it's canonical. So
Well,
we'll
that's
see.
what's up.
But yeah, I started it. It's a lot of fun, and I'm really looking forward to playing it more.
I still need to play 5.
I can't. I mean, you might not like it because you're not a turn-based kind of person.
I enjoy a good turn based. What I really don't enjoy is tactical games.
They're not. It's not tactical at all. No, I don't like tactical games either. Like, I mean, you were there with the Nintendo Direct when they released that new tactical game that I can't even remember what it's called because I immediately was just
It was
like,
like Project
never.
Triangle or something stupid.
Yeah. Project. I don't think it says that's its official name. I think it's just a working
It's a
title.
working title, but it's still a really bad working title.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah.
Um,
But I like, for instance, I tried playing Final Fantasy Tactics, and I've heard it's such a great game, and those things just bore me.
yeah.
So,
All right. Well, uh, gonna move on to our next little bit. So normally we have a segment that we call Steven's recommendations. Um, we decided that we're also going to do something where we recommend some stuff to you and each other, um, just to sort of spread it out a little bit. Um, so, tentative title of this, we're just going to call it, some kind of recommendations. Um, and we're each just going to, pick something and recommend it. And then if you want to check out our website, there'll be links to um, the various services and platforms where you can find those things. Tim, you want to kick us off?
yeah. So my recommendation is Control, and I know I've been talking about it a lot, but it's not like I feel like I don't know enough of people that are talking about it for me to really not recommend it. Um, but yeah, I got the platinum trophy this week.
Nice.
And it was really good. It was a lot of fun, and it's a third person over the shoulder shooter. It's the kind of game that I would like, if I'm being honest with you. Like it's weird, but like not overly weird. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. I put about, I don't know, 40 or 50 hours into it. That's because I was going for a platinum run, so I did a lot of other things. If you're just trying to play the game, it's probably only about 20 hours or so of just storyline stuff. But it's a lot of fun. You get a lot of cool powers, which I like. You get like Jedi Force powers, and you can levitate and do cool things like that. And the story is pretty succinct. Obviously it leads open for a sequel. I really got more into the story so much when I played the first DLC, the Foundation, because they seemed like they were going to like set up like a lot of cool things. And then I played the second one, and so Remedy Entertainment, which is the studio that produced Control, has two main other games, and that's Alan Wake and Quantum Break.
Never played
Which
either one.
I think one was only the PC, and one might have just been the Xbox or PC. I can't remember. I don't think either one was on PlayStation though. They also created Max Payne, but it was produced by Rockstar. they're involved with it. I can't remember who did what, but like officially it's by Rockstar, but it was actually done by Remedy Entertainment. I don't remember. All I know is that Alan Wake is like a writer that can't sleep, and the story he's writing about it ends up being Max Payne.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
I know
it's
that.
really yeah. I only know about it because like I guess Control is what they're trying to have be their like Remedy verse, where like it's involving a little bit of everything because like you go to this place and it's not even much of a spoiler. In Control, you go to this place called the Ocean View Hotel, um, and there's like a bunch of symbols on the doors, and you can only ever go into the door that has like the black triangle, which is the control symbol. Um, and like there's other symbols on the doors, and I guess that's for the other games, so to speak. Like there's an Alan Wake door and there's a Quantum Break door, things like that.
Huh.
I guess they're trying to, since Control has to kind of do with multi-dimensional kind of like traversing and stories and whatnot. I guess they're trying to use Control to create like their links between all the other games and stuff like that. But anyway, the second DLC is about Alan Wake. I never played anything about Alan Wake, so I got like halfway through it and I was like, I don't really care about this, and I stopped. It has nothing to do with like the game itself. It's just I don't know anything about Alan Wake, so some of the stuff that's like I'm just kind of like, I guess that's supposed to be surprising,
right?
So yeah, there's that. But I would highly recommend Control. It was solid. Like I said, good 50 hours I got put into it. If you're listening to this now, well, actually, if you're listening to this now, it's in March. So unfortunately, if you're a PlayStation person, it's no longer the free game of the month. But I still recommend picking it up if it's on sale or something. It's a nice little shooter. It's a good little story. And Remedy this week, actually, or sometime in the last month or so, kind of sort of teased a Control 2.
Oh.
Essentially, they listed a job opening to work on the quote unquote Control series, and there's supposed to be no more DLC coming out. So people are taking it as like they might be starting to build the basis of what will eventually become Control 2.
So that's really cool.
That's really awesome.
Yeah. My recommendation is Control.
No, go ahead.
I just say my recommendation is Control.
Yeah, I'm gonna play it. I'm just waiting for that PS5 upgrade.
I got you. I played it on the PS4 and I honestly liked it. And I remember why I stopped playing it was because Borderlands 3 came out. So I was just like, I'm just gonna go back and play it.
What you got, Christian?
Nothing like crazy out there. I know in the past, switching gears, not from gaming. In the past, I mentioned Dr. Stone, which is, I think, in my opinion, an underappreciated anime that you can find on Crunchyroll and Funimation.
I actually really want to watch that, by the way.
Yeah, no, it's super cool. I'm kind of falling behind now because I started watching it in the dubbed on Funimation in season 1 and kind of got hooked to that voice cast. And I think Crunchyroll is kind of like surging ahead with all the sub release. And I think Funimation's a bit behind right now. So I'm giving it a little bit to catch up. But yeah, no, Dr. Stone is great. As I said before, it's basically like this, giant, I guess, chemical bomb thing, whatever goes off, turns everybody to stone. And then this mad scientist, little kid dude, wakes up and figures out a formula to like crack people out of these like stone husks and starts bringing people back to life. But it's been like thousands of years later, and so the whole world's been reduced back to the Stone Age, and he's having to like rebuild through generations of the civilizations throughout time. But since he's a mad science whiz, he's able to like surge ahead in time instead of taking hundreds or thousands of years. It's like weeks. So but it's really cool. The cast is really cool. The character development's really cool. Of course, if you don't like anime in general, you probably won't like it because it's very much an anime. But no, I really enjoy it. I didn't think I'd enjoy it at first because it's very science heavy. And they go through, and as they're creating different things and finding like the different formulas to create different tools and devices, it's not something that I would thought that I would get a lot of enjoyment out of after, not enjoying science fully in school. But like they present it in a way that it's actually very enjoyable to watch, even for someone who's not a science geek or anything. And then I guess back in the realm of gaming, I mentioned a while back the Pedestrian, which is a puzzle platformer released on, I think it's PlayStation 5, PS4, and PC. I think it might be on Xbox. I'm not 100% sure. But it's a great game. It's very challenging. It has a sharp curve about midway through the game as far as the challenging of the puzzles. But if you're a fan of platformers and of puzzle games, I'd highly recommend you check that one out as well.
Okay. Yeah, Dr. Stone's been on my list since you mentioned it the first time.
Yeah. Yep.
So-
Dr. Stone. The other one that Ashley kind of got me hooked on was Promised Neverland, and that was the whole, like children farmed for demon consumption. So yeah, we should check that one out too.
Sounds terrifying.
Sounds awful.
Yeah, it's very dark.
Yeah, the reason it's still on my list and I haven't watched it yet is because of what I'm recommending. Is I've been binging Critical Role, which if you don't know what Critical Role is, they are.
Are you living under a rock?
Well, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. If you're into D&D, Dungeons and Dragons, then there's no way you don't know who Critical Role is. But they're a group of voice actors that they've been best friends for years, and they played a D&D campaign at their homes privately. And then Felicia Day, I believe it was Felicia Day that contacted them, and I mean, I'm sure that they just knew each other when she was starting up Geek and Sundry, and got them to stream their games live. So their campaign 1, if you go back and decide to watch it, which I highly recommend that you do, it starts like 3 or 4 years into their campaign. So you're going to be a little lost. Like they do their best to kind of like, fill in some of the gaps and stuff like that. But like, just know that you're not going to know a lot of the little nuances that happen in the show, because nobody knows what that stuff is because they did it, privately at their homes. But yeah, it's a really great cast. Matt Mercer, if you don't know who he is the voice of McCree in Overwatch.
I knew.
He's the voice of Captain Levi in Attack on Titan.
Oh, I know that.
Yep. He's Hit in Dragon Ball Super. And just a plethora of others. I mean, if you can think of it, he's probably in it. He's voiced Leon in Resident Evil.
Which one?
I think 6, and I think he also voiced Leon in the movies, the animated
movies. Does he
movies.
say smarter things than Leon does currently? Because Leon in Resident Evil 4, my man Salazar said, "I'm sending my right hand man after you," and he says, "Your right hand comes off."
Yeah, that wasn't Matt Mercer. But yeah, Matt Mercer is like the king of dungeon masters. He has an unbelievable storytelling ability that is unmatched, in my opinion.
So I don't want to interrupt, but it
No.
kind of has to do with what you're doing as you recommending this. Cody has been recommending this to me for years.
Yeah, years.
And I knew of Critical Role through an ex of mine that was also into Critical Role. So I was kind of like, yeah, I know about it. I know who Matt Mercer is because I played Overwatch and I like McCree, so I know who Matt Mercer. I knew who Matt Mercer was before I knew he was in Critical Role. So I started watching it finally. Is basically the punchline of what I'm saying here. I've only watched an hour because each episode's like 3 hours long.
Yeah.
Which is fine, but apparently, and you can get in more of this because you know more about Critical Role than I do. The start of the show on YouTube has this dude that leaves, and Craig was like, just skip all that. So he told me to start episode 30, which is the Halloween episode. So I watched the first hour, and the funny part about it is that everybody is in like dressed up as other characters. So, for instance, Matt Mercer is dressed up as Geralt from The Witcher. So it's a little weird because I'm just being dropped in here and I really don't know what they're doing. But it is entertaining. Like I said, I've only watched the first hour because I just haven't time to like sit down and watch the whole 3 hour episode yet. But I probably will continue to check it out.
Yeah. I will say, like, there's nothing wrong with the first like 30 episodes or anything like that. Like that, it's good stuff, and if you can tolerate, like the audio issues that they have, because for a while, Geek and Sundry was new. They were new to streaming. The Critical Role format was new. So like the audio is like pretty rough for quite a few episodes. And then there's a player with them. I forget his last name but his first name was Orion. Um, and I guess he was friends with them and was part of the home game. But like I don't know, there was some weird controversy or something. But at around like episode 28 ish, somewhere around there, they announced that like it was a mutual
It's in 30.
parting. Yeah,
Actually, episode 30.
they're like it's a mutual parting of the ways, and he won't be coming back. Um, I guess, but all parties agreed it was best. So I have no idea what happened.
They give him a plug for whatever he's doing because he was
Yeah,
doing.
I feel like there's no necessarily hard feelings for the guy. Uh, nobody knows exactly what happened, so but I think they handled it in a really respectful way. Um, and they do like a farewell to his character in one of their sessions, which I thought was pretty big of them, regardless of whatever happened. But yeah, if you know anything about D&D, a typical D&D session can go for like 4 to 5 hours. So most of the episodes in Critical Role are 3 to 5 hours. So it's understandable that you've only watched an hour. But
Unfortunately, because like the first 20 minutes were just announcements.
Yeah.
But whatever.
But I highly recommend watching it. It is beyond entertaining. It is so freaking funny at times. And the whole cast is crazy good. So you got Liam O'Brien, Taliesin Jaffe, Sam Riegel. In case you've never played The Last of Us, The Last of Us 2, Laura Bailey and Ashley Johnson. Ashley Johnson plays Ellie, and Laura Bailey is Abby in the latest Last of Us game. Laura also is the main character in Gears of War 5. I think her character's in 4 too. She was also Black Widow in the latest Avengers game. Her husband Travis is Thor in the Avengers game, and he's been in tons of stuff. They've all been in just a million things. And then Matt's wife, Marisha Ray, and it's so good. I
Cool.
cannot recommend it enough.
All right.
So the main topic of today, which I'm calling Recast and Reboot, is basically just what movies or shows that have, they're old. When I say old, I mean 10 years old or so. It's hard to say old, but things that you would like to see redone, either like as like an HBO series or something, or a Netflix series, or just make a new movie series but recast it. And And I think Tim, you had some interesting ideas about Harry Potter.
Yeah. So, um, your example when you kind of came up with this was Harry Potter,
Yeah.
and I kind of just rolled with that to because Harry Potter isn't old.
I
I guess I
mean,
don't consider it old, but
I
the first
we're in
out
our 30s, and the first one came out like on
you
my
know
11th birthday.
it came out in '01. Yeah. So I guess it is older. Um, but I decided I didn't recast any of the kids because
Yeah, there's
I
no
don't know
way
any
to
child
know.
actors. I don't know any child actors.
Yeah.
I don't really know many children. So I would great at that because I realized when I was doing this, like, not only do I know any child actors, I don't know any kids. I mean, I know a few, but they're like babies and stuff.
Right.
They're also not British. Also, when I recasted Harry Potter, I kind of left it with like, I kind of just was like, I'm working the mainframes of the British Isles for actors.
Okay.
So the people that I picked to do this, actually, as I say this, I left Adam Driver on there, but whatever. Besides Adam Driver, um, I picked all people that were either of British, Scottish, or Irish descent.
Interesting. Okay.
So, and this can just be whatever. And I didn't recast the whole everybody because I couldn't think of all the names off the top of my head. But do you just say who I picked?
Yeah. What do you got?
Okay, so for Professor Dumbledore, I had it between two people, and one is more kind of like, why don't we just go ahead and do this kind of thing? And the other one would be like, that seems to kind of make sense. The first pick I had was Hugo Weaving. He obviously played Agent Smith in The Matrix. He also played some elvish name in Lord of the Rings, and I'm probably gonna get guff for not remembering. So please, if you listen to this and you're a Lord of the Rings fan, don't give me guff because I can't think of his name. He played like the leader
Yeah,
elf.
I can't think of his name either, man.
Some elvish. Do you know what it is, Christian?
No.
Okay, it's some elvish name.
No.
You know who he is, though. The second one was Sir Ian McKellen, just because, I mean, he did Gandalf. Why not just do Dumbledore?
Yeah.
That's more like the whole, like, why not kind of thing. For Professor McGonagall, I had Judi Dench. She was M in James Bond until she died. Spoiler alert in Skyfall.
Yeah.
Or there's a woman by the name of Charlotte Ramping. She's one of those names that like has been in things that you've seen and you would recognize her face, but you don't know her name.
Okay. Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I know what you mean.
He's like that dude that was in like Supernatural and Doctor Who and all those shows that everybody likes that nobody knows his name.
Right.
He played who did he play in Supernatural? Crowley.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know who he is,
I do.
but you don't know his name.
Yep.
Yep. And then I actually moved Adam Driver from what you thought to have to being Barty Crouch Jr. Just because the person you had him as, who I'll talk about, who I picked in a second, is a little bit of an older character, and Adam Driver is still kind of young. So I moved him to a younger-ish kind of character. So I put him as Barty Crouch Jr. And then for Snape, who you did have as Adam Driver, I put as Robert Carlyle. If you don't know who Robert Carlyle is, he played Rumpelstiltskin in Once Upon a Time.
I could see it.
And then again, this is just names I picked. I had Tom Hiddleston as Lupin, Rowan Atkinson as Ollivander, Charles Dance as Cornelius Fudge. I picked Matt Smith and Carey Mulligan as James and Lily Potter. And then I just want Idris Elba, Michael Sheen in there somewhere.
Okay.
That's if I recasted Harry Potter. That's who it would be.
I'm sorry, I can't not picture Mr. Bean handing out wands.
Isn't it great?
I was gonna say, I didn't know that I wanted that to happen until you said
Until
it.
you said it, I was like, what?
Dude, as soon as I saw him, I was like, if this man is not playing Ollivander in my movie, I'm gonna be upset.
That's
So you imagine a
amazing.
kid walking into his shop looking for a wand, and he's going searching through all these boxes. I think I found it.
I think I found it. Oh.
He's giving the kids the middle finger, telling me that.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I guess the only reason I picked Adam Driver for Snape is because I actually agree with Tom Hiddleston as Lupin.
Mm-hmm.
And him and Adam Driver are actually, I think, close in age.
Are they? Okay, I couldn't remember.
So I was like, I could kind of see them, being, like the kids that grew up together or whatever. And
I saw a photo of Robert Carlyle on IMDb, and I was like, dude, he just looks like he could play Snape.
well, I mean, yeah, and I could see that. I don't know, his voice doesn't, but like I've got that Adam Driver, or not Adam Driver. I've got that I've got OG Snape in my head, so like I can't.
Yeah, like obviously no one can compare to Alan Rickman.
No, but like. Also, if I want it, because I also want Harry Potter to be done, but I want it to be done as a show.
Okay, I just picked it like I was just gonna recast the movie.
Sure.
And I thought maybe I can work in Rupert Grint and Emma Watson and Danny Radcliffe in there somewhere as some like just throwaway cameo character once in a while. But I was like, I'm not getting that deep into that. But if I had to recast, like, if somebody came to me like, here's an unlimited budget, Tim, recast Harry Potter movie, these would be the people I would pick.
Yeah, like I think I agree with most of that. I don't know about
Tom
McGonagall.
Hiddleston as Lupin was a good pick too. I really like that one.
Yeah, I do really like Hiddleston as Lupin. I still think Adam Driver would be a great Snape.
Also, I stick with British people. You can cast your movie however you want to cast your movie.
But I would want it to be an HBO series.
Can you imagine how raunchy of a Harry Potter HBO series that
No,
would
it
be?
wouldn't be
Rowan
raunchy.
Atkinson is literally giving people fingers.
Name one mainstream HBO series that doesn't have porn.
I don't watch HBO series, so it's hard to say.
Like, define porn.
Okay, sex scenes. Like, I mean, like,
okay.
and by HBO standards of sex scenes, it borderlines porn.
I mean, look, you're not wrong, but
I don't know. The only HBO shows I've ever really seen are Game of Thrones and The Wire.
yeah, I've only ever watched.
And True Blood, which doesn't help my cause.
No, not at all, especially season 2.
Yeah.
No, the reason I would want it to be on HBO and not Netflix is because I think HBO could handle it better. I think they have the money to handle it better. Plus, I think they have a deal with Warner Brothers, so it would be on HBO.
Or at least HBO Max.
Yeah.
HBO Max does have stuff on it that, I mean, not original content, but they do.
Right.
Like Doctor Who's on HBO Max.
There's
no porn in there, Christian.
But no, I think it would be good because because if you've read Harry Potter, there are some graphic scenes in Harry Potter where people get sliced up. I mean, Harry literally like slices Malfoy at one point.
On accident.
On accident. That's fine. Except it was on purpose, but he didn't know what it did, so accident.
Is that Sectum Sempra?
Yeah. But yeah, there was a lot of blood and stuff, and like it was supposed to be like horrible. And
yeah,
I think that they could pull it off. Not only, not be limited to what they could show on screen, but like they could show more of the story.
Okay, now I just want like a Harry Potter movie or show that's just like a hard R or a hard M. Like it's just
True Blood by Harry Potter.
Like everyone's doing coke and that was it's all just an LSD trip.
Everyone's sitting around in the common room around a bong, just like getting absolutely freaking
no,
away.
not even that. They're literally like in like recovery for like LSD people, and they're just all
hallucinating
this common room where they're all just tripping on acid and thinking that they're on brooms and stuff. That's the Harry Potter movie I want.
Oh God.
And then it becomes a gritty cop drama involving horrors and stuff like that. Actually, real talk. I know this has nothing to do with anything because this is just what I want. But I really want there to be like a show about like horrors and stuff like that. That maybe
I think that'd be awesome.
Adulty for the people like us that grew up with Harry Potter, but
yeah,
have
it's
not outgrown it, but you know what I mean, have grown up.
With the Harry Potter game that I want is an open world Harry Potter game where it's not in school, but not in the school. Like it's in the real world, and you can be an Auror or a Quidditch player or whatever.
I mean, I could see them easily doing in like an HBO series. It's in the Harry Potter universe that's like back during like a Voldemort's like Reign of Terror, pre like Harry Potter series. Like, because I mean, back then, like everybody was just getting freaking murdered.
Like actually, like following like Lily and James.
Yeah.
So that was the other thing. If they were to redo the Harry Potter series as a like a TV show or HBO show or whatever, I would cast the original. Rupert Grint and Daniel Radcliffe and
how dare you forget Emma Watson's name?
I was thinking of Draco.
Tom Felton.
Tom Felton, thank you. And Emma Watson as like Lily and James. I do forget the girl's name that played Jenny.
Bonnie Wright.
Yeah, I would want her to be Lily and Daniel Radcliffe to be James. I would want Rupert Grint to play Mr. Weasley. Emma could just be Hermione's mom. And then Tom Felton could be Lucius.
Yeah, I guess,
just as a way to put him in there, and he's not really doing anything.
Who?
Tom Felton.
You don't know what my man's doing.
What have you seen him in?
He was in War of the Planet of the Apes.
Was he?
How old was that movie?
Move on.
It's old.
IMDb this man right now. Go ahead.
That's like Rupert Grint. He's been in like 3 things.
He's coming out with something new recently. I'm about to look up them both. Go ahead.
Christian, what would you reboot or recast?
Oh, I don't know. At once upon a time in my childhood, I was addicted to the Mummy franchise.
Oh man,
with Brendan Fraser, that was like my jam. I grew up watching that with my dad, and at one point, I was like, you know what? Those are old enough movies. Like they should totally reboot it. And then they did, and then it was terrible. So
it's because they put Tom Cruise in it. Like don't get me wrong, I love Tom Cruise, but like he is Tom Cruise and literally everything that he does. Like every single one of his characters are the same character.
Yeah, no, I wasn't a fan. I mean, heck, even just with like the very last of, I guess, the original Mummy franchise. With
they recast his wife.
Yeah. Well, even the plot in it was just
really weird.
Tomb of the Dragon Emperor or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but the original Mummy movies are so good.
Yeah. The original Mummy was freaking awesome.
Okay, yeah. So Tom Felton isn't really doing much of anything right now. I mean, he's doing stuff. I just don't know what it is. But Rupert Grint is in an Apple TV show called The Servant.
Interesting.
Anyway, go ahead back with the Mummy and Tom Cruise being terrible.
I mean, Tom Cruise isn't terrible. He was terrible in The Mummy. Like, he wasn't the right fit for that movie.
No, I mean, unless it's Mission Impossible.
Yeah, if it's not Mission Impossible or Top Gun, I don't care.
Okay. Let me get guff for this, but I don't really like Top Gun.
I will somewhat jump on board with that and saying that I think Top Gun is a overrated movie. Like, I don't think it's nearly as good as everyone makes it out.
It didn't need a sequel.
All right. Well, this will be my last episode, guys.
Didn't you say that last week too?
No, I said that in one of the Resident Evil recordings.
All right. I just remember you said that at some point in time.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Uh,
yes.
no.
I don't know. I don't really see the point of just dudes playing volleyball in jeans. Anyway, Christian, you were talking about the Mummy, though.
That was okay.
I mean, my point was kind of done. I don't really know who I would want to have recast for the Mummy franchise. I just
You
know
can
Tom
totally
Cruise is
put
pick.
Spider-Man.
Tom Holland?
Tom Holland.
Yeah. Too
Honestly,
many Toms.
honestly,
Too many Toms.
could see it.
Well, I guess on that though, I mean, like I think people were kind of upset when they first heard that they were going to go with a more younger version of Nathan Drake when they're making the Uncharted movie. But I think Tom Holland was actually honestly a pretty good pick for a young Nathan Drake.
For young Nathan Drake, I think he's great. And like I didn't know that they were doing the young Nathan Drake thing at first. And I thought they were gonna like, do like normal Nathan Drake storyline from the games. And I was like, he's too young.
I mean, how old is Nathan Drake supposed to be? Because
In his like 40s.
Okay, because Tom Holland's like almost in his mid-20s.
Yeah. But Nathan Drake is like 40 something.
He just looks young, kind of like that one kid that was in that one movie that in Maze Runner that looks really young.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah.
Must look him up. I'm sorry, I gotta know his name.
What I would really like to see redone is Van Helsing. Like,
ooh, really?
I can't even remember. Was it Hugh Jackman?
Yeah, it was Hugh Jackman.
Okay.
Like, and I love that movie. I think it's very underrated. But I would love to see a remake of Van Helsing, either darker or whatever. But like,
Who would you want to be Van Helsing?
I don't know though. That's the thing. The Rock.
Is it The Rock?
Yeah, it's The Rock.
Hashtag that's The Rock. No, I mean, Adam Driver might be good in that role.
I don't know if Adam Driver would like. Yeah, I don't know.
They could totally do a gender bend. Have ScarJo up in there.
Yeah.
I was only picking Scarlett Johansson because she's in a movie with Adam Driver.
Yeah.
That's apparently really sad. I haven't seen it yet.
Marriage Proposal.
Marriage Story or whatever.
Yeah. It's very depressing.
It's real sad.
Yeah, Ash and I turned it on for date night, thinking it was.
What the hell's wrong with you?
And then, we didn't read anything into like what the plot or anything was, and then about halfway through, we were like, "Well, this is fucking depressing."
I love you. I know we just got married. Please stay with me.
Yikes.
Yeah. And it just gets worse.
Yeah.
And worse and worse.
It goes straight downhill until like the last 5 minutes. And even then, it's not great. It's a great movie.
Though.
It's a good movie. Yeah.
You want to talk about a twist in a movie involving Scarlett Johansson? Have you guys seen Jojo Rabbit?
No.
I have. Again, very dark.
But it was also kind of heartfelt towards the end.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't want to. Are you gonna watch it, Cody? I don't want to say anything.
Yeah, I'm planning on watching it.
Well, then just know that like it's.
Look for the feet.
Yeah. Pay attention to feet, but not in a creepy way.
All right, so I'm gonna pose this last one to you guys.
I actually do have something I want to be a TV show though.
All right, go for it.
And I think it's a kind of a close personal one to my heart here because I read the books. Percy Jackson. I like that.
Actually, yeah.
TV show. I don't know who to cast in it, but I mean, you can probably still do Logan Lerman and Alexandru.
I really liked the movies. I hated that they didn't continue.
The movies like I actually really liked. I didn't hate either one of them. The second one was a little bit weird and ended kind of wonky, but I mean they were pretty on par with the books, so to speak.
Yeah.
But I feel like if they did a TV show, they'd be able to obviously television is like this for like any type of thing, you have much longer time to hash out storylines and sub storylines that don't necessarily have to be the main protagonist. So I feel like they could really get into that. So I had Percy Jackson. I like to see it. It's just like a Netflix thing. It doesn't have to be anything gritty like you wanted Harry Potter to be.
Well, it's not that I want Harry Potter to be gritty. I just want it to be more accurate to the book.
I want it to be gritty. I want it to be like Batman, but it's Harry Potter. No, I was kidding. Sort of. But no, I would like there to be a Percy Jackson TV show. I think they could do a lot of good things with it because the books are phenomenal. I mean, it's like a really underrated series, I feel. And I'm surprised you didn't bring this up, but like talking about stuff that we read that's kind of underrated and no one really talks about, they could totally do like a Pendragon series too.
I was literally just about to say, there should be a Pendragon either movie or I think movies would probably be better because there's 10 of them. But I mean, you
said like, movies or TV show?
I think movies would be better, but I mean, I wouldn't turn down like an HBO series for Pendragon.
Yeah, I mean, they're great.
I read all 10. They're so good. They're just really underrated.
Yeah, I know. Very underrated.
Okay, so before we finish this episode, if they were to redo Zoolander, who would you cast as Zoolander?
Can there be anybody but Ben Stiller?
He's getting old.
Davidson.
Pete Davidson. I
don't know. My cousin loves Pete Davidson and thinks he's hilarious. So
he's all right.
I never watched any of his stuff or anything. This is totally just I'm throwing out the first name that kind of popped into my head when I thought of somebody funny that was young. But Pete Davidson would be my. I mean, he could probably do it. I don't know. Is he funny?
he's pretty funny, but I think it's a different kind
SNL,
of funny.
Right?
Yeah, he's a different kind of funny though. He's like Bill Burr funny.
I like Bill Burr, so. But I get that he wouldn't necessarily correlate to Zoolander. But hey, maybe he has the acting chops to pull it off.
Right.
I don't know.
I would like to see what's his face from The League.
Nick Kroll.
Nick Kroll, thank you.
That'd be a good one. I wouldn't be mad at Nick Kroll either.
I honestly think John Mulaney might be able to do it.
I think John Mulaney's a little too awkward to play that role.
I was going to say he's a little too lanky and awkward.
Personally. Is that your pick though, Christian? No, I mean like just
that was the first one that popped on. No, you're fine. It was the first one that popped into mind. I honestly don't know of anyone who would play it better than Ben Stiller. Or
that's what I'm saying. Like it's so
as
hard.
Good.
Thinking about anybody that been. You know what? I want to see the same movie, right? I want to see Zoolander, right? But I want to see Owen Wilson playing Zoolander, and I want to see Ben Stiller playing Hansel. Just totally just come out with Zoolander 3, Freelander, whatever you want to call it, and just swap their roles, tell nobody, and then just let the movie play.
Okay.
I'd watch it. Of course, I'm also the guy that also would watch a Cars reboot if they had the Fast and the Furious people voice all the people.
Oh, 100%. I am down for that.
Just
give me animated Cars, Fast and Furious.
No, not even that. Just take the actors from Fast and the Furious and have them voice Cars, and then I'm like, this is pretty accurate, to be honest with you.
I want Fast and Furious done like Cars, where they just are the cars.
I want Vin Diesel to voice Lightning McQueen.
Yeah, no, I want Vin Diesel to voice a Camaro.
I mean, honestly.
And The Rock to just be some massive ass Humvee thing.
He's just a monster truck Humvee kind of thing.
And for some reason, it's always wet. It's not raining. Yeah, its wipers are always on. everyone like it hasn't rained in 3 days.
Real talk. Why was the Rock so sweaty in Fast Six?
5.
5.
Yeah.
It was like snowing out, Rock, and he would just be like sweating.
All right. I think that's where we're going to end this one. So if you stuck around, thank you for listening. Please make sure you like, share, subscribe, leave a comment below. If you'd like to reach out to us, you can find us on Facebook and Twitter at SKO Entertainers, or you can visit our website, skoentertainment.net, to find more information and how to reach us on our other platforms. Also, check out our YouTube channel for some Resident Evil playthroughs. Me and Christian have a Resident Evil 6 that should have like 3 episodes out by the time this starts. And Tim's got a playthrough of Resident Evil 4 that should be on like 8, I want to say 8 or 9 by the time this comes out. So
Sounds right.
definitely check those out. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of that action. And lastly, guys, please don't forget to join us next week, because even on the best of days, we all need some kind of entertainment.
Bye.
See you.
See you guys.